I'm not sure if this is how the professionals do it. I don't think they go swimming when they're supposed to putting this on, but I'm up to just above my knees in water. So good morning. I think this is going to be the last big piece of this puzzle outside of running the 600-foot lines, but there's no digging anymore. Well, maybe a little bit of digging, but that kind of just falls in the trench. Nothing too crazy. This part is the last. It kind of it might be a little bit tricky, but we're installing that thing. It's a splash box or distribution box. So that has 7 ports on it, or you could put 7 lines off of it. We only have 4, obviously, plus the 1 coming in. So that needs to mount on the high side of the first line so that our water will get pumped up into the distribution box. From the distribution box, it'll flow out evenly to all 4 drain lines. So where I got the excavator, I got it on right now. It's warming up, or I should say cooling down, because it's another scorcher today. I'm gonna dig out, I need to dig out a hole there to set that, and we'll put a nice bed of gravel down there and compact that for that to sit on. And then I'm gonna dig 2 trenches down to the second line, and then 1 trench from the second line to the 4th line, so that we can run our 3-inch pipe from the splash box to the field line. So we're able to use 3-inch or 4-inch. We opted for 3-inch. It's a heck of a cost savings. And then the way we're gonna set our pump, it's not gonna pump all that much water up here every time, so 3-inch should be plenty. So once we get that done, I may or may not put a little bit of gravel in that trench for the pipes. Then we can connect our pipes to the leach lines, and then I'm gonna add a port on top. It would be similar to a clean out on a house, which will then allow access to see inside of that. It's not necessary. I'm gonna add it though, because I wanna see inside of there when water's being pumped up there. I'm curious. I know it's just poo water, but I'm kind of curious to how those things work underneath. So I can fish a camera in there and a light and look down there and see how it works. It's just murky water at that point by the time it comes up here. There's no feces and chunks or anything. Not to gross you out, but anyway, I'm curious. Maybe that's weird, but maybe I'm weird. So anyway, we'll dig this out and we'll dig our lines, and it's gonna be more of the excavator. So I'll probably put that part on time lapse, and then we can get everything hooked up. All right, we got it all dug out. I had to do quite a bit by hand, because when I dug it this way, it all fell in and there was no good way to do it. But I don't know, I can't think of another way to do it without that happening. So it's not a huge deal. It's mostly level. I'm gonna go up to the front and get some gravel for right here. Because this is probably down 2.5 feet-ish. And that thing's maybe, I don't know, 18, 20 inches tall. So we'll put a nice bed of gravel there, and then we can set that. I probably won't set any of that pipe, but we get that set, and then we can do our field lines from that. And then I'm gonna have to come up a little bit on that dirt probably, but I don't want to do that until we're got field lines in there. So we'll use the top. There's a top hole and a bottom hole on that. We'll use the top one, but I'll have to add some height to the pipe, but that should be easy. So I'm gonna drive the Jeep up and go get the lawnmower with the wagon, get some rock, and then I'll meet you guys back here. All right, I got my load of gravel. I don't know how much I'm gonna get done here. Apparently we're supposed to have some thunderstorms roll in here, so I guess we'll just get as much done as we can. There, that's easier. So I may have gone down too far because I want this even with the ground. Yeah. I think I'm gonna need some more gravel because I don't want to take that down too low. Here, I'll go get one more load of gravel and that should be enough because I came up probably 8 inches and we don't have to go up that high. I mean, top of the ground's right there, so maybe. Shoot, actually. Yeah, we need to come up just a little bit higher, so go get some more gravel and I'll be right back. All right, I got a little bit more gravel in there. I still might need some more. Get out of here. So, there's a dang wasp flying around. I'm gonna go ahead and level this out. There we go. Now we can see I still need to come up a couple inches. quite a bit more gravel. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Probably should backfill around this a little bit so that that doesn't settle. So I'll do that and then we can start running some pipes. Good morning. Well, that was a little bit more than just a quick thunderstorm that rolled through here. We ended up getting close to 2 inches of rain, which was not good when we hadn't backfilled the tanks yet. So I came out the next morning and our tanks were floating. So we spent all day yesterday trying to reset our tanks and backfilled around them and filled them up with water. So the tanks are good now. The leach field's fine. Nothing floated, obviously, out here. So everything's good here. So I need to get this piped in so that then I can go pipe in the tanks, get that hooked up, and try to get this knocked out this week before we have more rain coming in. And I like to get everything backfilled. So I went ahead and cut our splash box out. So those are our holes, and we'll adjust those in a minute to get the correct height. But we'll run I'm gonna run our pipes down and get those hooked up to the leach lines. And then this should be hopefully a fairly quick project. All right, so these are the, I don't know what you call it, but you stick the pipe in here. They can twist around so you can get your height correct, but it's just kind of like a real thin plastic. So in order to get it out, you just kind of stick a key. They say you just stick a key in there. And it kind of starts it to rip, and then you just rip it out at the correct size that you need. And for us, it's 3 inch. So once you get it started, you just use your finger. It just pops right out. That's all there is to it. So now we can stick a pipe through there. So our first pipe should So first pipe is in. Now this is just gonna be just like any other pipe. We'll just put a little primer and glue on there, shove the other one in. Ugh. If I can open this. There we go. So using clear primer just because that's what I grabbed at the store. Let's see if my glue is still good. This heat does not help for the primer, that's for sure. I guess a good thing if it leaks here, it's not a huge deal because this is a drain field. Alright, so I'll just keep working my way down. Then I'll come back and I'm going to lay out these 4 pipes and then we can turn into the tanks, or the chambers. Alright, so I am trying to burn through this pretty quick because, like I think I said earlier, we got more rain coming through later this week and I'm trying to get this done and inspected prior to. So this is the third trench. I decided I'm only going to put a viewport on one of them and I'm going to do it for this one. So you have to drill through the end cap and the first chamber, and then you put a coupler on the bottom and a pipe like that, and then these will snap back in place. And then this will then get a coupler on top, which will sandwich the two between each other. I don't really know why you would have to put the coupler on the bottom, but that's what the manufacturer calls for, so that's what we're gonna do. And then this will get a pipe that'll stub up and I'll make it pretty high for now, and then we can cut it back once we get the grade done. So I'm gonna finish up this trench. I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done, and then we'll go up there and plumb up the 2 tanks together, and we'll be well on our way. All right, back up here. You can see we had to backfill a little bit. I don't think, reading the state code, we can backfill. The inspector just needs to be able to see the name on the tank and the manufacturer, which is fine. So we went up about halfway. This is higher over here because there's nothing there, but we just went up to about halfway. The tanks are filled halfway with water as well to keep them seated. Now if we get any rain, the tank shouldn't be able to move. So we got our outlet cleaned out here, cleaned the pipe, dug that out a little bit because it caved in. We're going to take the laser now, zero it on the top of the pipe, and then we'll use that for the hole on the tank, and then we can drill our hole, put our gasket in, run our pipe, and it should go fairly smooth. And then this side over here from tank 1 to tank 2 is going to take a little bit of finagling to get the to get it correct, because this first tank is kind of going this way and then this tank is going this way, so they're a little bit, the angles aren't perfect, but it should be nothing that a couple angled fittings can't take care of. All right, so we need to measure how far we are for our slope. 45 inches, so let's call it 4 feet. So this needs to be an inch lower than here. So we're not going to zero it. It's going to be off a little bit. It's going to be 1 inch.
You want it down 1 inch?
Come over, yeah.
You can't see that.
Oh. Level.
And I'm trying to look before I 15, 16. Is that good?
Okay. Yeah. So that's where the top of the tube would need to be. So we'll take our hole saw. Now we can mark that. I'm gonna have to get dirty here, and I don't want to. Although I'm already dirty, I suppose. So now, all I'm gonna do is take the hole saw by itself. So I'm just gonna mark on the tank with just the saw. Because I don't want to get off at all. So I think the other thing I can do is put this on here like this. Get it centered. There's no going back if this messes up. There. So there's our pilot hole. Now I can screw this back on. And then right here on the tank it tells you what to use. Use 5-inch hole saw with 4-inch ID gasket supplied by Infiltrator. ID inside diameter. Alright, so now cut this out. It's like, what's that stuff you spray on people?
Silly
Yeah.
More like confetti.
Dang it.
What?
A dumb fell in.
Oh.
I heard it go boop.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Sometimes it sticks in the thing. All right. Now we just ruined our tank. Hopefully it's right, because it'll be a lot of work to take it back out. He tossed me that gasket there. So then it comes with this gasket, poly lock, and then this will just stick in here. Like so, and then we can stick our pipe in. That's all there is to it. It's actually pretty easy. Flathead screwdriver. Well, I'm gonna go through one. I'm not sure if this is how the professionals do it. I don't think they go swimming when they're supposed to putting this on, but so we got our gasket in here, and we could not figure out a good way to tie into the plumbing. I think what a lot of people do is they set their septic before they run their house plumbing, so it's a little bit easier, but we're doing things a little bit backwards, so it's not a big deal. I'm up to just above my knees in water. So we got a coupler on there. The way we had to do it, we had to do it in 2 sections. Tina's gonna glue that, and we have a coupler on the pipe from the house. So Tina's gonna prime and glue that, and then I got some soapy water here. I'm just gonna push this back out of the gasket, and we should get them seated. So hand me that mallet and a block of wood just in case. I don't think I'm gonna need it, but you never know.
Anything else you might need?
I don't think so. New pair of shorts. I'll hold it if you want. Okay. Or you can hold it, doesn't matter.
That's fine.
Just load it up with captive. All right, so that's set. We do have to add something else inside the tank, but I'm gonna wait till that all sets up, and we can do this, connect these 2 tanks together. And once we connect these, we'll go back and do that, and then I'll come back and do the inside of this one. So we got our hole marked on this side. I don't know how well that picks up, but we took our laser just to check. There's our little black mark, and here's the mark that they put on the tank. So we're spot on. And they put those marks so that you know, because that side is higher. The tank's perfectly level, and that side's higher. I think that side's 47, this side is 44 and a half. So this outlet is 2.5 inches lower than that side, so that the effluent can come out of this side without backing up over there. And then this side we don't even really have to worry about it, because this tank's quite a bit lower than this tank, so that'll flow down and in, and then we can go out. So I'm gonna drill my holes, and we'll stuff those 2 gaskets in there, and then we can make our connection. It should just be 190. We got a long sweep 90, and that should connect both of those together, and we'll be well on our way. So there's nothing tricky about these. You got the inlet side here. You can tell because it's kind of contoured in. And then that's the side that goes in the tank. And that's all there is to it. It just sits in there like that. So we can install a pipe now, which I think this one here is going to be a little bit too, well, no, this I think might end up being perfect. Doesn't need it. We can cut it once it's in there, I think. So get my soapy water.